Hi everyone, this is Tammy at Snowstorm Crafts, and today I want to show you guys how I made this cover here. And it's got a back on it, which we're going to glue to the front of our journal. So the back doesn't really matter what you use for it. And I want to show you how to get this front look just like this. So if you could, please subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell, and you guys can see my next video when I post it. Like, comment, and share, and let's go together. All right. So I am going to show you the process of doing this. This is for my junk journal I'm doing here, and it's going to go on the front like this. So this one, and I wanted to show you guys how I'm going to put this one together, but today I decided I want to show you guys how I did this one. And it kind of reminds me of like a hot pad, kind of, you know, like it would be like a hot pad thing that you could put pots and pans and stuff on. It's kind of the same concept. And I just want to show you how it's done. I mean, it's pretty simple, and I'm going to show you guys step by step. So it's probably going to take up most of the time. So I'll show you how to do this one today, and then my next video will be me, you know, putting the this journal together with you guys. So, okay. So we got this. Now, what I'm going to use today is I want to do gnomes, which everybody loves gnomes. Okay. So let's say, and it's not, I'm doing this one for a bigger size journal than this, but I have the measurements here. So let's say that the journal I'm going to be doing, let's say this journal is 6 by 7. Okay. So that's the size. It'd be 6 by 7. So whatever you want to do, you want to at least cut it out by 1/2 inch. So 6.5 by 7.5, because you want to have at least a 1/4 inch seam allowance that you're going to sew on, if that makes sense. So say your journal is 6.5, you know, say your journal is 6 by 7, your cover that you want, and you're just going to have to do, when you cut out your material, just do it 1/2 inch bigger. Okay. All right. So we're going to go ahead and do that. So I'm just going to cut this one out 6.5 by 7.5. So I will go ahead, and I'll be doing some of this in time lapse, and just to speed up the process so it doesn't take a big long video. And that's all I'm doing, is just cutting it 6.5 by 7.5 is what I'm going to do for this. And some batting. You're going to do your batting, and then when you do your batting, just go ahead and do this at 6 by 7. You don't need to cut it the 1/2 inch. You want it a little bit smaller, so go ahead and stick with the same. So the batting will be 6 by 7, the size of your journal. Okay. It doesn't need to be bigger. And then the back. Your backing can be anything you want. It doesn't matter what material, because it's not going to show. I mean, some of it might peek out, like if this one's just a little bit bigger than this, because I made this before I did the journal. It's just something I've had for a little bit, and then it might show like that a little bit, which is okay. That's why I went ahead and inked around and did some inking. So, but I think the way we're doing this, it should be fine. So the backing, go ahead and cut it 6.5 by 7.5. So go ahead and do the 1/2 inch. So do the front and the back the same sizes, and then the batting, just do a 1/2 inch smaller, because it doesn't need to be the sizes of the front and back. Okay? Okay. Cut. We got this one cut where it's a 1/2 inch bigger than your journal cover. This back part cut where it's a 1/2 inch bigger than your journal cover. And the batting, you don't have to do batting. You could do receiving blanket, flannel, something thicker. Those kind of things work. And it just kind of gives it a quilted. So when we sew this, like we're going to do the sewing pattern, it just gives it like a puffed up little quilted look. So, I mean, you don't even need the batting in the middle, but it just gives it like more of a quilted look. Okay, so now I went and ironed, just because it helps it stick to it better, and I had some wrinkles. So I went and ironed it down, and I got it all ironed on here. and then just kind of place it so you're gonna have maybe, you know, a 1/4 inch around or somewhere around there. I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect, you know. That is one reason I love doing junk journaling. I don't have to be precise, and it just, you know, you just call it, I meant to do that. I meant to do that. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and do that. Get our batting on there. Have your front cover. We're gonna go over to the sewing machine, and what I'm gonna do, and then you can do different patterns. You can do anything you want. You don't have to do just this, but I will bring you guys over with me, and what you could do is just kind of turn it kitty, you know, to the corner here. Just turn it sideways, and you can see how I did it here. And what you're going to want to do is just sew. So we're going to have it like this, and then what we're going to do is just go down to the end. We're going to go sew it, turn it, come back, turn, come back, turn, come back. So you're not even like, you're just, because this part's going to be sewn anyway, so you just come out and then you turn and then like that. So I'll go over and show you guys. So we're going to do it all that way, and then we're going to flip it and then do it all the other way. So it is way simpler than I'm making it sound. So I will go show you guys. So that's all we need right now is just this batting and the front cover. That's it. That's the only parts you need right now. So I'll meet you guys over there. All right, so I'm hoping you guys can see me here. And I'm gonna turn it where I can see the batting side, because I think that'll be easier to show you guys. So what we'll do is we're just gonna run it off the batting, and then that's when we'll turn. Okay, so just go sideways with it like this. Go to the corner. Go over about, oh, an inch or so. Put on your straight stitch. And we're going to start on the outside of the batting. So go ahead and start on the outside of the batting part. And then you're just going to go forward. Go on the other side of the batting, go to the material. And then we're just going to go down a little bit. Let's say, you know what, a 1/2 inch, because you can make them bigger. They don't need to be super tiny lines. Okay, and then we're just gonna go straight back. That's actually smaller than I wanted to do, but that's okay. You know, you just kind of work it how you want to do it. And then there. You just go down a little bit. So we're just going just like that. And then go on the outside. And then go down about how far you want. And then turn it. And then you're just going to follow it right back. Oop. Okay. And like I said, they don't need to be perfect, you know. That's the freedom, you know, of doing a junk journal too. Like, I'm going to make this one a little wider. Just because. Why not? Because I'm not going for perfection. I'm really not with this one. And I'm just going for, you know, just the look. So you go down. And then... So you're just going to do that all the way until you get to the end here. And then you just turn it. Because this side's not going to be, we're going to sew it so you can't even see the outside. So whatever you do on the outside there, it doesn't matter. But just follow your lines just like that. If you can see that. And I'm just doing lines straight across. So I'm going to do this in a time lapse, and then I'll stop and then show you guys going the other way. Okay, so I got to the end here, and make sure you do a back stitch just to tighten that up. We'll lock it in, and then we'll cut it. And cut it. And then now you're gonna go start the opposite way. So you got the lines going this way, and we're gonna check it. So we're gonna make checks. So it's pretty much you're just doing the exact same thing, except for you're going along the lines this way. So the lines you just made, you make them horizontal, and then you're gonna go vertical, just like that. So you're gonna start however far in you want, and then do a back stitch, do it like that. Go over as far as you want on the side there, turn it, and then just make your lines. Like that. Go down as far as you want, turn it, and then make your lines, like that. So then, if you can see here, you're just making the checks, and I'll show you guys when we go back to the craft table, but it just makes little checks, like little squares. I don't know why I'm saying checks. I was thinking like a checkerboard. Maybe that's what I'm thinking. Squares, not checks. I don't know. Sometimes I don't know where my brain's at. I was thinking checkerboard. It makes it like a checkerboard kind of thing where you just got the squares. I don't know. Who knows what I think half the time. As long as I get there, right? It doesn't even matter. Okay. And then you can make these as wide as you want, and I'm kind of liking doing that. It's kind of fun. You can wiggle them if you want to get really crazy. That's what I'm saying. There doesn't need to be precise uniform, uniformity. So you do it as wide as you want, as straight as you want, as crooked as you want. It just kind of gives it just a fun pattern on the front of your journal, on the front of your fabric here. Just gives it some interest, Okay, so just keep doing that. Oh, I'm not sure what's happening here. Okay, so just keep going back and forth, and I'll do it on time lapse. Pretty painless here. And you can see, now like I showed you, or told you guys, you do not have to do them perfect. So that's kind of a fun, you could even do wavy little lines in it, and like these are closer together, these are further apart, and then, so it doesn't really matter. And you could see what I was doing is that I'm just going to the end, and I was just turning around. So you don't have to lift it up, cut the string, and then go, that's just, you don't need to. You can just go to the end, turn around, sew it, and then just keep going. So you just use the edges. And now another thing you could do, which I think I might do on my next journal cover, is leave it like this and fray. Just go ahead and, you could fray the ends and have it just so it's all frayed on the ends. I like that look. So that could be kind of cool. We're not going to do that now because I'm going to show you guys how to do this one. Now, I did these more precise. I mean, there were some mess ups here, but what you could do is just, when you're doing it, is just make sure your foot, like here's the needle in the middle, just to make sure that you're lining up your foot just right along with the other piece of thread that you already sewn. So you could do that, and you'll do a little more precise if you want to do it that way. I mean, these aren't even perfect. Nothing's perfect, but these are definitely not perfect, and I like that look. I think it's kind of cool. Okay, so don't need perfection is the point of that. So take your other backing, your back of your little journal cover, I guess we'll call it a fabric journal cover, and we're just going to go ahead and then find the top of it, so make sure you have it facing top the way you want it. This one doesn't really seem to matter. So you got this guy, or this guy, with that guy. I think I'm gonna do it that way. Okay, and then go ahead and set this one right on top. Okay. Because then when we turn it and flip it, yep. Okay. So what you do is, say this is the good side. This is the good side. This is both universal. It doesn't matter. It can go either way. But say this is the good side, and this is the good side of the material, meaning the side that's pretty. So you got the pretty side and then the pretty side, and you put those together. So you do good to good. So that's how you do it. Okay. And what we're going to do is go ahead and clip all the way around, or pin. Just line it up. And we're going to pin it all the way around. Okay. So I hope you guys are having a crafty day today, and getting your sewing machines out and your fabric, and we'll do a little sew session today, a little sewing sesh. And I think it's just a quick one, and there's no pressure. I mean, honestly, you could even just take a piece of fabric and just practice on it, you know, without batting behind it, and just take like a junk piece of fabric and one that you don't really care about, and just kind of practice going back and forth on it and doing that. Oops. Maybe I should have done that first. I am not lined up. We're yakking away. So this, you want to kind of line it up here. Yeah, a little better than I did. Okay. So, yeah, like I was saying, you could just take just a scrap piece of fabric and practice doing the back and forth lines on it and stuff. And you'll get it. It's not that hard. It's pretty quick, and that you don't have to do it perfect. You know, don't put pressure on yourself or nothing. Because you know what? This is just for funsies. There is no pressure in junk journaling. You can do however you want to. That's what I always say. Okay, so now here's the part you should pay attention to. Is you're gonna want to take. Okay, let's line it up here. So what do we have? So you're going to have at least a 2-inch opening. So you're going to want to like keep 2 inches open to flip it, because we're going to be flipping this. So what you're going to want to do, okay, and if you guys haven't sewn a day in your life and you got a brand new sewing machine, this is not that bad of a project to start. I mean, really, and you don't even need to do the sewing lines on there. You pretty much just take a piece of fabric and another piece of fabric, and then just put good to good, and then there you go, and then just leave a 2-inch opening at the bottom. You can make it as simple as that. You don't have to do all the sewing or any of that stuff. If you know, just to start off. Okay, so I'm gonna leave, 2-inch sewing, 2-inch opening. And we're going to go to the sewing machine, and I'm going to start here. I'm going to do a back stitch, work it all the way around, just a straight stitch, all the way around, all the way, and then do a back stitch right here at about 2 inches. And I'm going to stick to really close, about a 1/4 inch seam allowance, so pretty close to the batting here, and just sew all the way around. Okay. Okay. So I'm just going to start right here. And then do a back stitch. And then we're just going to work our way all the way around it. So I'm just going to go all the way around, and then I'll show you guys when I get to the end here. Getting to the end here, and you can see where you started with your thread here. So I'm going to, the bigger the opening, the better to turn. So just make sure you back stitch right there, and then just leave a 2-inch opening at least. And there we go. like that. And you got yourself an opening here, just so we can flip it. Little Patty wanted to say hi. She's sitting here watching me sew. She's back behind me on her little scratching post. I'm just taking a little nap back here. So that's her little spot. Oh, she's being shy. Yeah, you watching everybody? You watching me sew? Yeah, she's so funny. She likes her little scratching post right there. Her little cubby hole. Okay, so what we got is we sewed it all around. And you got your opening here, just like that. And what you're gonna wanna do is take it and start just grabbing it and pushing the corners through. Just through the hole. And start putting it all the way through. And grab a chopstick, works great. A knitting needle. You just gotta be careful. Knitting needle, or you know, they got a little point on them. So you just gotta be careful not to poke too hard on the corners, because you'll poke it right through. And then you got like a crochet hook, like this long one would work, because then it's not as pointy. And just a chopstick, like it's more blunt. So I like using the chopstick here. And what you're gonna do is just start getting it through the hole here. You gotta work it in. Work it, work it. So there we go. And then shake it out. Shake it out. Okay, and then you just put your chopstick through the hole and just gently poke the corners. Just round them out there. Like that. There we go. And look at that. We have ourselves a quilted little journal cover. So much fun. And they're super fun to make. So you can just look through your material and go, ooh, I want to do this one, I want to do this one. And yeah, so this is when it's nice to have your iron. So go ahead and just tuck everything in, all this, and just tuck it down like that. So there we go. And then I'm going to go over and iron it all flat. So I have it all ironed here. It just makes it easier to work with if you just get it, you know, flattened and ironed into place. So now what we're going to do, and if you do, what I did on this one is add lace around it, which I think looks cute. And if you weren't going to add the lace, then you could just go to your sewing machine and just sew all the way around it, and then that closes that off. So you could do that. But since we're going to do lace on this one, I'm going to go ahead and turn it like this. And I want the front of the lace part, so the good side, going this way. So I'm just going to start at the top here. Or, you know what? I like to start at the bottom, middle. Okay, what did we figure? That's the top, right? Okay. So I'm going to start down here at the bottom. Like this. Okay, that's the good side. Okay. So I'm just going to go here. Like that. And then I'm going to clip it. I'm just going to take it and clip it around. I mean, you can glue it into place too, if you want. Whatever you're comfortable with here. But I'm just gonna do a clip around. And then at the corner here, I just take my finger and kind of go, I just take my finger and go like that. And that kind of just goes around it. Okay. So you just put it as low as you want here, and then work yourself around it. You want this sticking out, so even if you do a little fold right there, that's not bad. I mean, you'll see when you're working it, you can kind of see how you want it to fall. Okay. And then just keep working yourself around. So I'm just going to pin it all the way around. And then I'll meet you guys at the end here. Around it. So I'm going to overlap a little here. Go ahead. Do a little overlap. And I like to do the start and the end at the bottom, just so the focal point, you know, won't be like at the top or something, and then you won't notice that it's, I mean, you can't tell. You won't be able to tell. But I just like to put it all at the bottom, that part. But there you go. You can see you just kind of have it popping out the back a little here. And what we're going to do is start at the bottom, and I'm just going to do a zigzag stitch all the way around it. And yeah, I'm just gonna do it from the front here and just zigzag, and then that'll close the opening down here. It'll close it up. So we'll just do a zigzag like I did on here, and then you can see it just closes it, gets it all secure. So I'll meet you at the sewing machine. I had to flip it over and sew it from the back here, because then I can see, you know, if it's getting on the lace for sure. So I'm just gonna start like that and just go ahead and make sure you're catching it. And then we're just gonna zigzag all the way around, and at the beginning here, oh, hold on, that is not a zigzag. So at the beginning here, just go ahead and do a back stitch. Catching that right there. And then I'm just, when I take off the pins, I just hold my finger so it doesn't come undone from where I had it. Okay, and then I'm just going to do it all the way around. Alrighty, so got it all sewn around, and we were just catching that lace just to get it, and then I avocado dyed this lace, if you can tell, so it was really white, so it's kind of more of a pinkish color now, so it's kind of cool. So you could do that with your lace and stuff too, is, you know, you could dye it, and you can do tea dye, you can do onion dyed, you can do avocado dyed, so anything like that isn't too bad of an idea. You can even do that with this. If you wanted to, after you get it all done, you could avocado dye it, you could spritz it with, you know, tea, and just kind of just grunge it up a little bit. That's not a bad idea, to try to do something like that. And yeah, so we got this far today. And I'm liking the way it looks. So it looks pretty good. And you know what? Now that I said that out loud, I think I might grab some of my Rit dye, because we got a little time here. And I'll get my my Rit dye, and I'll show you guys. I got like a camel kind of color or a wine. I'll go look, and let's do a little spritz around and just make it so their beards aren't as white, and just kind of grunge this up a little bit. And then I'll let it dry overnight, and then tomorrow I'll show you guys how to attach it to the junk journal. Well, this one, I'll do this one, and because I got this one already ready to go here. So we'll get it all attached on there, and yeah, we'll go from there. So let's do that. So give me just a second, and I'll get some stuff to play around with that. So I got a piece of cardboard underneath in case I go crazy here. Make a huge mess, but I don't think so. So what I got is I grabbed camel Rit dye. So this is my Rit dye that I always talk about, that I use, and I've showed you guys throughout videos, but this is the tie-dye. It's for clothes, it dyes clothes, but I use it for my banner flags that I make in my Etsy shop, and my rainbow party gift bags. So I make those too. And this is what I use, and it's liquid, and it's very concentrate. And I probably should have gloves on with this, but that's okay. I'll get a little crazy. Okay, so what I have is a spray bottle, and I had black in it, but I dumped it out. But there's still a little black in there, so that's okay. We'll do this. Let's move this for a second. And this is just water. So I'll kind of show you guys what I do here. You could do some water. Just whatever, you know, as much as you want. And depending on how concentrate you want it. And I always use the lid. And let's just do a half lid here, because there is black, so we'll see how this turns out. It'll be a little experiment. Okay. Let's give it a little shake. So this is definitely something you guys can do to, I mean, you can do, and I've been avocado and onion dyeing for the last couple days of paper and stuff, and I just dumped it all out, and I could have used it for this, but of course, you know how that goes. So yeah, I've been doing that for a couple days, just getting stuff dyed. Okay, and then wet wipes are a great thing to have around you at all times, because I am messy. Okay. So here, we can do an example back here, because if we mess up, it doesn't matter. This part's not going to show. But let's see. So you can kind of just do some spritz here. I like that color. It's not bad. And then you can take it and shake it on there. Get a little, and then get some blobs going. Okay. And then this is wine color. So we can even do a little bit of just kind of testing it out here. So you can see some of this might show on the other side, so it wouldn't be bad to, you know, around the edges and stuff. So that's not bad. So that's kind of fun. And it just kind of grunges it up. Just gives it a little more depth and stuff to it. Okay, so I kind of want to do that to the front here. That's what I'm thinking. I want to get the, just get them a little grunged out. So just a little bit, just so it's not so white, you know. I'm not like dealing with, wow, that's white. There, I'm liking that. So there we go. You can see the difference here. I don't know if I want to use the wine on the front. I think I just wanted to just show just different colors on the back here. But we can even get the edges a little better. And then we can even throw some inking in here to ink the edges. Just in case, because like on this, I showed you guys, like, because this one's a little bigger. So when you put it on here, and you go to open it here, you're gonna see part of it, like that. You probably see just a little bit, you know, like that, of the material and stuff. So it's not a bad idea to kind of just grunge it up. And we got some vintage here, vintage photo, and distress oxide. Oop, wow. So I'm thinking just kind of just around the edges here. This will get it all while it's wet. And then I will let this dry overnight. And I will definitely show you guys the video when I put this one on the other journals, the other journal when I make it. But for the next video, I'll show you guys with the frog, because I gotta get that one done. and get it in my Etsy shop. Okay. So there. See, that's kind of nice. It's kind of fun. You can even grunge up the lace a little more if you want. So you could throw your inks in there. You could throw some of your dyes in there. Some tea dye, some onion dye, some avocado, you know, anything you got. Just to kind of grunge up some stuff, you know. Like, I just love the freedom of junk journaling. I really do. I think it's so much fun, and there really is no rules. I mean, there's no rhyme, no, you know, like, anybody telling you, like, exactly how to do it, or, you know, like, no, sorry, you just did that wrong. Like, no, you didn't. You do it however you want. That's the great part. Do whatever you want. So this is what I did today. This is what turned out. And starting off, I never know exactly how things are going to turn out. And then when you're done, it's said and done, I think they turn out pretty cool. So if you guys have any questions about any of it, like anything I skipped through too fast or didn't explain good enough, let me know in the comments, and I will try to answer them as best as I can. And or I could try to do a better detailed video on it, but this was, I hope I explained it good enough to show you guys the basics of doing this. And like I said, there is no, like, you don't have to do the stitching in there. You don't have to, you could do it however you want. You could just take 2 pieces of material, sew it together, and then flip it, you know. And I just thought I'd show you guys some fun quilting on top techniques. And I hope you enjoyed it and found it informational. And if you guys could please, it would really help me out, to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell, and you guys can see the next video when I post it. Like, comment, and share, and let's grow together. And keep on crafting, guys. And have a great day.